Hey, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Ice Cream. I'm back here with another video. The holidays are coming up and it's been a while since I've released anything, so I figured now would be a great time to drop something. The holidays are often a tough time for a lot of people, and it's a time of the year where a lot of people give in to relapse. Even though the holidays can typically bring up a lot of negative emotions in people, it's important to remember that you are in control of your own destiny. You're the one steering the ship, and you're in control of how you decide to want to live your life. If you're watching this, it's probably because you struggle with kratom, alcohol, or substance abuse. Now, substances aren't inherently bad in and of themselves, but if you struggle to moderate, it can really wreck your life. I'm currently at 18 and a half months clean right now from kratom and alcohol, and there's still brief moments where I think of giving into relapse. It doesn't happen often, but it still pops up sometimes. So for me, even just like a few weeks ago, I'd been pretty stressed out from work, very busy. I hadn't been sleeping the best, and for about 30 seconds on the drive to work, I was entertaining the thoughts of swinging by the old vape shop where they sell kratom. And, you know, even though it was only 30 seconds, it bothers me that still, even 18 and a half months, those thoughts still pop up. But it's up to you to control that shit. And it's important that in those brief fleeting moments that you take control of that situation as soon as possible. I legitimately had to talk myself out of it. Like, I just had to say to myself, you're driving to work, you're going to work, and you're not going to stop at the vape shop. I even put on a YouTube video about recovery just to listen to it and get some positive input and just to remember why I don't want to give in and use, and I drove to work and everything was fine. The problem with many of us in this disease of addiction is we still think of our substance of choice as something positive as opposed to something negative. That morning as I was driving by that vape shop, I thought of the good moments of kratom use. Like, I thought of being more social or feeling more upbeat or having more energy, but I didn't think of all the hopelessness and desperation and despair that came with regular daily use over a period of months. And every time I picked up and used kratom, that's what it always led me to every single time. So I know better than to give in and even use once, because it's always going to go back to that for me. And it's the same thing with me with alcohol. Like, sometimes I'll be out at a show or a concert and I'm in a place like a bar where they sell alcohol, and I'll see people drinking and think, oh man, that looks fun. And I remember the good times where, you know, maybe I was a better flirt or I was more sociable or I had that liquid courage going on. But then I forget about all the times that I was an asshole or I almost crashed my car off the road or I said and did mean, horrible things to people. It's always important to keep those negative aspects in the front of our mind. The triggers and cravings are gonna come up from time to time. Like, there's nothing you can really do about that, but it's up to you to see how you want to proceed with that. So it's going to pop up from time to time, but it's up to you to take control of that situation. And the only way to get freedom from active addiction is to stop taking that substance that's affecting you. Like, the only way to get off of that crazy cycle of addiction and relapse and using and all the negative consequences is to stop taking it for a prolonged period of time. And over a period of months, you'll start feeling more normal and you'll feel like a better, healthier, functioning adult as opposed to someone who's just like desperate and barely able to make it through life. Now, I personally don't feel there is any one correct or proper way to defeat addiction. Now, everyone has their own viewpoints on this. Like, you'll have people that say 12-step is the only way, or a certain other recovery group is the only way, or you need to go to rehab. There's different approaches to this, so I would try different things and find out what works best for you. The one common thread in all these approaches of getting clean is it requires effort. Like, the reason that people go and attend meetings is because it takes effort, and you see people that are still in the grips of active addiction. You're still surrounding yourself with the positive message of recovery. Same thing with going to message boards or Facebook groups or even watching videos like this. You're actively working and addressing your problem and you're working on it, you know? So it's just those little baby steps, just constantly putting in effort and remembering why you're getting off of this substance. You need to put in that effort. It's the same thing when I used to be really overweight. Like, I used to be like 80 pounds heavier than I am now. And it took consistent effort, regularly going to the gym, making healthy, informed decisions at the grocery store and deciding what I wanted to eat. And it took daily effort to do that until eventually a change happened and I no longer eat junk food. Like, I actually enjoy exercising. Like, it's a change of my lifestyle. And I feel like that's the same thing with addiction. Like, once you start putting one foot in front of the other and you start making progress, like, things start to fall into place more. And those first few months of recovery seriously require a lot of dedication. One thing that I was big on too was writing myself notes. Like, I would get like a Sharpie marker and write a note on the fridge basically saying, don't give in, don't use today, don't be a failure. And I would see it every morning, and before I head out, You know, I used to always pick up in the morning before going to work. I would see that, and it would be a daily reminder every morning that I don't need to give in, I don't need to use today. And just little things like that would help me. I'm a big proponent of being brutally honest with yourself because it helps to remember why you're on this journey. Like, you can't just go through life willy-nilly and expect you're going to be fine. Like, you actually have to put in that work and remember why you're doing this. I'm a big proponent of being brutally honest with yourself and telling yourself the harsh truths that you need to hear, because you need to remember why you're on this journey. Like, you can't just reminisce on the good times with substances. You have to think all that raw, bottled up guilt and shame that you felt from taking substances that hurt you, and you took it every day just to feel normal. Like, that's not how you want to go through life. One of the best things about getting some extended clean time is those thoughts of using and wanting to give in to relapse become less frequent and less intense over time. So nowadays, I might only get a craving for kratom maybe once every few months. And with alcohol, it's extremely rare, because for me, I look at alcohol as a literal poison. Like, I know what it does to me. Now, it doesn't mean I want to be preachy or I judge others. Like, others can drink and have a good time, and that's fine. Like, no judgment. But for me, I know what happens. Like, I know I will land up in the back of a cop car, I'm gonna go to jail, or I'm gonna kill myself or someone else. Like, it's just bad time, so I don't do that shit. You have to utilize different tools to help you stay clean, and surround yourself with positive people. Have a good friend group that's actually there for you and supports you. Make time for yourself to enjoy life and have hobbies you enjoy. Like, life shouldn't all be about like work and chores. You should make some time for you. And I also think it's important to have like a me day for you. So for me, that's on Sundays. Like, no matter what's going on, I don't do shit on Sundays. So if someone wants to invite me to something, it's like, nope, it's my me day, and I already got it planned out, you know, whatever I want to do that day. And it's also important just to work on those day-to-day habits, like getting enough sleep, eating healthy, getting exercise, getting outside, those kind of things. All of those things that we pushed away when we were using, or at least most of us. You know, we'd slack on shit. You know, your diet wouldn't be the best, your house would be a mess, you'd sleep like shit, get 3 hours sleep and try to function the next day. It's like, nah, take better care of yourself so you're not feeling miserable and like shit all the time. Do other positive things that would benefit for you. So say you're a chronic relapser and you keep relapsing again and again. Maybe you do need to go to rehab. Maybe you need to join a recovery group and get active in that kind of thing. Maybe take a class, something that you would enjoy, maybe something like painting, something that would just give you personal enjoyment and fulfillment that's not using substances. And also, it's a skill, so it's something that you can get better at over time. Life is hard, and it's hard for everybody. It doesn't matter where you come from or your background. Shit is difficult, but there's a lot of things in life to be grateful for, and life is fucking beautiful. And it's up to us to open our eyes and see that shit. And the media and negative people and people who are using and people with hardcore mental health issues will try to bring you down and inject you with fear or try to tell you how to live. And it's like, cut all that negative shit out. Focus on you, do exactly what the fuck you want to do, and don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about it. Because you only have one life, so take care of yourself and do exactly what you want to do, and aim higher and do better. And you'll notice the longer you stay off of substances, particularly hard drugs or opiate-like substances like kratom, the longer you stay off of it, your self-esteem and your outlook on life will improve dramatically. You know, it might be a bit of adjustment in the beginning, but the longer you stay off, the better. And honestly, it's totally worth it. That period of adjustment is a bit much those first couple months, but the longer you stay with it, that's when the benefits start to come. So it's important you keep putting one foot in front of the other and stay on this journey. Like the 12-stepper people say, like, it really is one day at a time. Don't be overwhelmed that I'm never going to use kratom again, or I'm never going to drink whiskey again. It's like, no, just today I'm not going to do it, and every day you just go through your life and don't give into that substance. And all of a sudden, it's 8 months later, and you have no reason to apologize for anyone. You have a lot more money than before. Your skin is clearer. You don't feel like a piece of shit. You're not as depressed, and you just start seeing those benefits come to you in your life. So in reality, we just really have to get out of our own way and our old habits to get better. So if you're still taking kratom right now and you're thinking about quitting and you're scared and nervous about the withdrawals, just pick a day, either taper or go cold turkey and quit. The withdrawals suck. They're not fun. They're not easy to go through, but you have to go through them to get on the other side. So it's either now or never. So get on it. And don't keep telling yourself, I'll quit tomorrow, because before you know it, a bunch of tomorrows are piled up, and then it's a year from now, and you're still stuck in the same position that you were a year ago. And that happened to me because I was on this shit for 7 or 8 years, and I kept telling myself I would stop and I would stop, and I was completely miserable. Like, I felt like I was losing my mind for a couple years there, and it wasn't until I had like 3-4 months clean time that I actually felt like a normal human being again. So if you're taking this stuff hardcore like I was, like, you're not the same person that you were before. So you need to get off of that shit and just go through the withdrawals and bite the bullet. So don't just navigate life on autopilot and tell yourself, I got this. Like, you really have to take care of yourself. You have to look out for yourself, and this has to be like a daily thing. And when those cravings pop up, you gotta nip that shit in the bud quick. Like, picture a craving like a baseball coming your way, and you got it back, you just wanna hit that shit the fuck out of here. Like, you see it coming too. You'll wake up one morning, you feel a little bit off, and then you just think, oh man, I could just use just today, just once, and I'll be fine. You're like, nope, fuck you, bitch. Like, not doing that shit today. I'm going to work, motherfucker. Like, that's what you gotta do. Like, anytime that shit comes your way, you gotta know the truth, because you know what it's gonna lead to. So don't listen to those negative thoughts. And the more that you ignore them, and the more that you successfully don't use, the better things are going to be. So don't be lazy in the beginning, especially the first couple months. So regularly watch videos on recovery. There's a ton of them out there. Podcasts, message boards, subreddits, and things like that. Facebook groups, I've mentioned them before in a couple of my other videos, Quitting Kratom Facebook groups. So pay attention and be active in all of that stuff. Like I said, especially those first couple months. Like, you really need to get a solid foundation before you're comfortable in your recovery. And if you're watching this, maybe kratom is the only substance that you've been addicted to. And if that's the truth, then just smoke pot. Just do something, just don't do kratom. Now, personally, I don't use cannabis. I haven't in a long time because of my job. If it was federally legal, that might be a different story. But I was never really a big pot guy anyways. I was always much more of a opiate, stimulant, alcohol kind of guy. But even though I don't smoke pot, one thing that has helped me out tremendously is high potency CBD oil. Now, I'm not sponsored by this company at all, but I just want to give them a shout out because I think they're amazing. CBD oil is really overpriced. A lot of times they'll charge like $30 for like a 500 milligram bottle. But this company here that I use, it's called Goomies, Goomies. They have a 4,200 milligram tincture that is potent as shit. And it's probably one of the most affordable and potent tinctures that I've had. And if you use cannabis products, I think they also have Delta 8 and Delta 9 gummies. I've heard that they're really good, but their quality is really consistent. The shipping is fast, and I've been a fan of theirs. So if you're looking for a good CBD oil, that's a good company to go with. I've also talked about Kava in other videos as well, Kava. It's a substance that's used in the Pacific Islands traditionally for relieving anxiety and kind of calming you down. But for me anyways, it doesn't have any kind of hardcore addictive properties like alcohol or kratom does. It just kind of levels me out and brings me down a little bit. I really like Herb Farm tinctures. They're really good. I think they're on Amazon. They also sell the powder where you can brew it yourself on Amazon and a ton of other websites as well. So if you're looking for something to kind of chill you out, Kava and CBD are great options out there. Also, if you're a recovering alcoholic, this is something that's been a lifesaver for me. Non-alcoholic beers. So nowadays they actually make 0.0% non-alcoholic beers. Back in the day they would only have like O'Doul's and things like that, but there was still 0.5% alcohol in there, and I don't like that. So now that they make non-alcoholic beers with no alcohol, I can actually enjoy it and be guilt-free. Now, for some people, this may be triggering. Some people might taste beer and it might throw them off the wagon and trigger them. But for me, I personally didn't have that experience. So I only have maybe 1 or 2 a week, and I find them really nice in social situations, or if I'm out at a club or something like that. It's just nice to feel included and that I can have something. And also, back when I was a drinker, I also really did enjoy the taste of beer. Like, I enjoyed IPAs, I enjoyed porters. I kind of missed not being able to have the taste, but now I can enjoy the taste of a beer, but just without all the negative consequences of alcohol. So if you're in recovery, I don't know. I'm not telling people what to do, but I'm just saying for me, it's a nice option. I'm glad that they make 0.0% non-alcoholic beers nowadays because it's a lifesaver. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, so I'm going to wrap this up. It's just that the holidays are coming up and I wanted to drop another video and just remind everybody to stay vigilant in their recovery. Hopefully you can utilize some of my tips and mindsets I talk about in this and other videos. And go watch other people's videos too. There's a lot of good stuff out there. But just pay attention around the holidays and stay vigilant because it's fucking hard out there. Life's hard, but when you stay clean, like, you get out of your own way and just things get a lot easier and your life improves. And I don't release a lot of videos. I only make one every month or 2 months because my schedule is really hectic. I travel a lot. I'm usually busy before and after work, so I don't have a whole lot of free time. And what free time I do have, I'm usually traveling or hanging with friends. I'm also going to be on the road a bit the next month, so I probably won't be dropping a video until maybe the end of next month or something like that. I think in my next video, I would like to talk about my experience with psychedelics and my thoughts on microdosing in regards to depression and recovery from addiction. There's a lot to talk about that, and I'd be curious to hear y'all's input on it too. Hope y'all have a good holiday season, and take it easy.